Giannis has not played without a stretch five as a power forward basically since Brook Lopez learned to shoot. So like Giannis won his first MVP in 2019-2020. Brook Lopez that was when he had his breakout defensive campaign. That was when the Bucks won 60 whatever games. Giannis wins back-to-back MVPs. They win a championship. That was his 3-year peak. Giannis has not played power forward without a stretch five in that entire time, 7 years or whatever. The Bucks have been really, really, really intentional about whether it's Brook Lopez, whether it's Bobby Portis, now it's Miles Turner. They have consistently had somebody there next to Giannis who can handle the main rim protection duties and will not get in his way in the paint. And I just think that's something Knicks fans are not considering right now. They're like, oh, we have Jalen Brunson and we're going to get this MVP Giannis. And it's like, now wait a second here, folks. If the Knicks do the trades that people are purporting and suggesting, it's going to be a totally different dynamic, and that needs to be factored in when you're talking about building a team around Brunson and Giannis.
We're talking about Giannis now replacing Karl-Anthony Towns. You're playing next to Brunson. We just saw Giannis and Dame and had high expectations for that because Dame was coming off an insane offensive season, literally one of the best offensive seasons that we've seen in the last 10 years. And it didn't work out. And I think a reason why it didn't work out, it's just because Giannis is not the guy that people necessarily think he is. Giannis is a creation-driven, initiating wing. He is not a big as he is kind of described as. He doesn't run pick and rolls as the roll man. He's elite when he does it. He doesn't do it. So I looked at his pick and roll man frequency as the finisher on pick and rolls. The last 7 years, his frequencies was 6.1% this year, 8.5% last year, 7.2, 6.2, 6.8, 6.0. The top guys in the league are consistently between 25 and 30% frequency. He is nowhere near running pick and rolls as the roll man anywhere near that level. He has the ball in his hands. He is a guy who creates. He wants space around him. As Geoff said, he wants a stretch five out there to get out of his way, keep the paint open, let him get to the rim and create for others and create for himself. That is who Giannis is. B-Ball Index has this really cool tool. It's called the Roll Fit tool. Basically breaks down a player's skills and how they play and tells you what role they fit into and gives you like a percentage match with that role. Before this season, Giannis has never been higher than 4% matched to a roll and cut big. 4%, and that's the highest. Typically, it's 0 or 1%. He's always considered a shot creator, anywhere from 85 to 99%. A little bit of slashing, a little bit of post scoring, not rolling. He is an initiator. He's an initiating wing. You're talking about, theoretically, a guy that is coming in to play the role that Julius Randle played with the Knicks, but just like a guy who's twice as good as Julius Randle. Maybe you think that's enough. Maybe you think that's appropriate. Maybe you think that's how you win. You have Jalen Brunson and Giannis take turns. Guess what? Giannis is not as good a shooter as Julius Randle. So you're talking about some issues there. But even if you think that, his current ecosystem, AJ Green, the best shooter in the NBA currently, shooting 50% on high volume 3-point shooting. Literally the best shooter right now in the NBA. 2 stretch fives, alternating stretch fives they can have on the court at any time between Bobby Portis and Miles Turner. Ryan Rollins, who's been a great 3-and-D point guard that doesn't need the ball in his hands. This is the perfect co-pilot for a Giannis-driven offense. Gary Trent on a cheap deal who hasn't played well, but theoretically is a great archetype around Giannis and is still shooting well. Like Kyle Kuzma, who I'm not a fan of Kyle Kuzma and never have been. He's basically been as good as he can possibly be. This is the best Kyle Kuzma we can possibly expect. So to me, if you're making this deal, if you're the Knicks and you're trading Karl-Anthony Towns and you're going to trade OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges, who's playing the best basketball of his entire life right now, you're trying to brute force a championship by putting together the best players you can acquire and saying, I hope it works. I don't know how it'll work, but I hope it works. Just give me the best guys I can possibly have. Mike Brown, figure it out. I think Mike Brown could make it work better than Tibbs and many other coaches, but do I think this is pushing the Knicks into bigger title contenders than they are now? My truthful answer is no. Do I think that this makes them contenders with the Oklahoma City Thunder, contenders with the Houston Rockets? No, I don't. I don't think it changes anything for them. I think it doesn't even necessarily give them a higher ceiling, depending on, of course, if you're trading OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns. So